from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whatever day it may be, maybe the 4th be with you, or the 5th, or 8th, whatever. I'm here to keep you company and take it, but may you feel welcome. May you feel some sleepy joy and delight in the deep, dark night. That's what I'm here to try to provide you. If you're new, welcome to this show. If you're a regular listener, so glad to have you back. And people who listen from time to time, I'm glad you're spending some time here. I hope I can make meandering use of it. But if you're new, this is a podcast that's here to be your friend in the deep, dark night. Take your mind off of stuff so you could fall asleep. A little bit different than what you might expect with a sleep podcast. So kind of see how it goes. It does take a couple tries to get used to the show. Structurally, what we got coming up is support, so that paying for the podcast is optional, particularly for new listeners. Then a long, meandering intro meant to ease you into bedtime. And then a visit from the only Star Wars, tertiary Star Wars character who lives maybe in a world of parody and satire, or what's the other one? That is why he comes by. He'll be making a meandering, I think he'll be talking about, I don't think he'll talk about the movie Diner, which I've never seen outside, like when I've been clear-headed, so I should probably watch that film. But he'll be talking about diners. I see it was Star Wars diners. I don't know. No, I do know. But our friend Wendy, though when I say it sounds like Wendy. So welcome to the show. You may say, it feels windy in here with all that hot air coming my way. Well, you're in the right place. It's warm air or a cool breeze, whatever you prefer, or motion, whatever. I'm here to help you. I'm glad you're here. And if you're a regular listener to the show, like you listen nightly, nearly nightly, this podcast makes your life better on a regular basis. Paying for the show is optional for everybody but that group. If you can afford to support the show, please consider supporting one of these sponsors or supporting the show directly. If you listen that often, and it makes your life a lot better. If it only makes your life a little bit better, or you only listen occasionally, you can't support the show, we've got you. Here you go. Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are the things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Helix Sleep. And I don't know if you've taken the quiz yet at helixsleep.com/sleep, but I have my Helix at home. I love my Helix because it's fit for how I sleep and my sleep and feel preferences. But I'm looking at getting another Helix. So this summer, there's a cabin I'm going to be staying at, so I can have a bed that fits how I sleep. And maybe you should have a bed that fits your needs, right? Whoever, has your mattress ever asked you, hey, tell me more about your needs and your feel preferences. What would make you comfortable? Well, that's why you got to take this Helix quiz. The Helix Sleep Quiz matches you with the perfect mattress based on your personal preferences and sleep needs. It makes buying a mattress easy. And Helix is the most awarded mattress brand. It's tested and reviewed by experts like Forbes and Wired. There's free shipping and seamless delivery right to your door with free shipping in the U.S. They have the Happy with Helix guarantee, so you can rest easy with seamless returns and exchanges. changes. The Happy with Helix guarantee offers a risk-free, customer-first experience designed to ensure you're completely satisfied with your new mattress. There's a 120-night sleep trial and a lifetime limited warranty. And Helix helps you sleep better. A study they ran found 82% of those involved saw an increase in their deep sleep cycle while sleeping on a Helix mattress. And oh boy, do they have a great sale for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/sleep for 27% off site-wide during their Memorial Day sale now through May 31st. This offer is exclusive for listeners to Sleep With Me. That's helixsleep.com/sleep for this exclusive offer. 27% off site-wide. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots, and I'm trying to run through these messages of why people support the show now. We talked about, who doesn't need to support the show, who could, but who is supporting the show, and why would someone support a free podcast? And there's three kind of main, they're all similar. So put yourself in this person's shoes. Maybe this is you, and maybe you're the person that'll support the show tonight. Because the first thing they do is they say, oh, Scooter has been talking to me. I can support the show. I want to support the show. I've just been kind of putting it off. And now I'm hearing that the show really does need my support. I'm going to support the show right now. And then they go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Right now. They did it last night or the night before, and they sign up to support the show because I know the show needs my support. I've just been waiting for the perfect time. Well, now's the perfect time. I'm going to do it. If that's you, sign up right now, sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Don't wait. You could set up the bonus content tomorrow or a day or two. But if you're hearing me right now and you're like, yeah, I am the one. I can support the show and I want to. And I can't replace this podcast with something else. sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Oh, Mystery Bard, a lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
Posty poster son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at JonathanMann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcript.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. If you some of these messages rang true for you, but you're not in a position to financially support the show, let people know about the podcast. Give them your honest experience with the show, how you discovered it, how you like to listen, and how it helps. Spread the word, and let me know about it so I can say thanks. Send me a message through our website or on social media. That's a huge, huge way to help the show. You could still be a part of this thing and helping us keep it going just by letting somebody else know about the podcast. Thanks, and what do you say we get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you can set aside whatever is keeping you awake. That could be thoughts on your mind, thoughts about the past, the present, the future, things you're thinking about, thoughts that are just there, or thoughts that are kind of going on a little bit under the surface. And you say, I'm feeling something, because it could also be feelings related to those thoughts or those under. You say, I'm feeling a little bit of something here. Oh, now I'm hearing those thoughts. But whatever, it could be physical sensations, changes in time, temperature, routine. You could be going through something, getting over something, in the middle of something, anticipating. You might have guests. You could be traveling. Maybe you work a different schedule. Whatever it is, I'm really glad you're here. And I mean that. I really am. And the only reason I kind of run through some of the things that might have brought you here is so you get the sense you're not alone, that you really are in good company. I mean, not, I don't want to toot, I don't want to, toot any horns. But, you could do that under the covers if you're anything like occasionally, but this is pretty good company you're in, because you're here with a welcoming group of other listeners who are not just welcoming you passively, though some are. A lot of people are getting comfortable, getting wound down. But there's listeners rooting for you. They're so glad you're here, and they really hope the show can help you out because they get it. That's the one thing that over the 12 or 13 years I've been making this show, over the millions of listeners I've heard from or had a chance to interact with, is that other listeners get it. They get what it feels like. They might not know exactly what brought you here, but they understand that you're here because you're a little bit fed up with sleep, right? Or you're having an issue, and you're really hoping something can help you out. And I'm rooting for you too, because I've been there, tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting asleep, trouble staying asleep, waking up, all that stuff, thoughts, feelings, physical sensation, all the stuff I list. I'm glad you're here because I made this show for someone who they just can't quite get to sleep, but you tried a bunch of other different stuff. You tried to listen to the advice that people kind of shoulded you. Oh, you should be doing this. Oh, how you thinking? Why don't you stop thinking? I say, great. If I could have stopped thinking, I wouldn't just stop thinking at bedtime, But as soon as so what I'm trying to say is we're glad you're here. But even though I think that I can relate to what brought you here, right? I don't assume that. The good news is that even if you say, no, Scoots, you can't relate to what brought me here, there is someone listening. There's enough people listening that somewhere in the world, someone who really gets where you're at is listening to, a regular listener. And I don't know if you can feel it right now. Or I don't know if you want to be the person sending it right now. They're sending you well wishes across the deep, dark night, across the world. And it's real. They're saying, man, like they're lying in their bed or they're, on their floor, getting comfortable, doing some sort of wind down. The only reason I say is that's where I do my wind down routine, on the floor. Your phone. Anyway, we don't want to get in. We don't need to be distracted by a wind down routine, but they're thinking fondly of you because they can really relate. They see you in an indirect way. Yeah. And that's kind of, sometimes that's the most comfortable way it can be because there's no pressure. It's just someone else out there who gets you and they've been in a similar place. And I hope the show can help you out. Maybe the show doesn't help you out, but at least you get that when you come here. And that's why I make the show, is I get to be a part of this gathering of people in the deep, dark night who listen for a variety of different reasons. But underneath it all, we do share something. And maybe it's just that we enjoy each other's good company in an indirect way. But we also believe that everybody deserves a good night's sleep. Everybody deserves a place where they could get the rest they need so their life is more manageable. Everybody deserves a bedtime they don't have to dread, that they could look forward to, or at least in this case with Sleep With Me, feel neutral about and say, well, at least I got that podcast. I know the guy he talks a lot, but, it's not bad. So at least I got that to listen to. That's what I strive for, to just be like, well, he's not bad. I mean, I don't know what he's really talking about, but I kind of listen to it. Because if you get the rest you need on a regular basis, your life tomorrow is going to be more manageable. And then maybe if it keeps going, you could be out there in the world flourishing. That means the world we're in is a better place with you in it. We need you in this world. You don't have to be at your best. That's too much pressure. I'm not perfect. I'm foible. I'm full of foibles. I may not even be, I'm so full of foibles, might not even be using the word correctly. And fallible, holy cow. I may be fallible in my use of foible, or I may be foibling my fallibles, but I'm not going to be flippant about it. When I say that stuff, I'm serious. So we're foible friendly, flippant friendly. I say, well, we don't need to be, we could be, I don't know, because sometimes I say, wait a second, let's flip it more of like, oh, you and your foibles. That's what my Nana would say. Oh, you and your foibles again. Could you just please use words that you could spell? Because I'm not thinking you're going to be able to spell foibles. Well, I tell you what, Nana, if I saw the word foible, I would give it a hug. Just because I'm picturing it as a huggable word. I wouldn't be I'd say, I'm not being flippant, foible. I want to give you a full embrace. And also I added an extra F word in just to add some more alliteration. I'm not even sure if that was alliterative. What was I even talking about? We want you flourishing in the world. That means our world's a better place. Now, the way this show works is I send my voice across the deep, dark night. I use lulling, soothing, creaky dulcet tones, pointless meanders, superfluous tangents. I'm trying to think of a word. It's fully foible. Is fungible? I don't know what fungible is. If I saw it in context, I would know what it is. But fungible foibles. I wish I knew a fungible, man, because that could be a store. Fungibles and foibles. That's floor 5, sir. Oh, thank you. Okay. Okay. So yes. What does all that mean? It means my voice is not traditionally soothing, and this show's full of friendly meanders. It's kind of like you're hanging out with a friend that never gets to the point. But when you first get here, this show could be a little bit off-putting. That's normal. You might be skeptical. You might be doubtful. Maybe you searched for the show. Maybe someone recommended it. And you're like, I had expectations about this. I don't know. What am I listening to? And that's a pretty normal way to get to the show. I would say that it makes sense to me. And so if you're having that reaction, why wouldn't you be skeptical or doubtful, right? You tried a bunch of different stuff to fall asleep, and now here I am just talking about almost nothing. So all I can tell you is that over the history of the podcast, what I've learned is that it takes 2 or 3 tries to get used to this show. And some people do that over the course of 2 or 3 nights or 2 or 3 hours. But some people do it over the course of 2 or 3 months or 2 or 3 years. Where you hear about the show, you listen to it once, and you're like, what is it? This is not a sleep podcast. This can't be what the podcast somebody told me about. This guy's he's just going on. And I think he talked to an imaginary Nana, and he says words. I'm not sure if he knows. I'm not even sure if he knows what vocabulary is. And they say, well, yeah, no, it's long for vocab. Vocabulary is a long version of vocab. I know it. I know that. So if you're having a reaction show, that's a pretty common thing. Give it a few tries, see how it goes. On the second or third try, what'll happen is either you'll be like, oh, yeah, the show is always never getting started, always going nowhere. It is like hanging out with a friend and he's just talking to me. And later he's going to talk to me about Star Wars diners. No, I mean, yes and no, or kind of. Maybe, but he'll be just here to keep you company, but you don't need to listen to him. And now the thing is, give the show a few tries, see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, or you already know, you're listening to the show and you just have a strong feeling, no, it's not a fit. I don't think I ever want to listen to your show again. Or I don't think I really we're a match. That's totally fine. That's actually normal. And I have a website set up just for those situations. If the show doesn't work for you, you don't find me to be your cup of tea, or you just say, nah, no thank you. I have a website set up, sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. And that'll link to other sleep podcasts and sleepy stuff, because you still deserve a bedtime, like to find something that's going to help you out and get some sleep. So check that out if you don't like the show, or it doesn't help you out. So that's one thing. The other thing is that this is a sleep podcast, so that you kind of barely listen to. That does take some getting used to as well. Like, it's an out of focus picture, a TV on in the other room, a show streaming under your pillow, your roommate talking to you about nothing, maybe something, nice, like a radio across on the other side of the park, where you can't quite see it, or sand passing through your hands, nice warm water passing through your toes. It's something that's there, but it doesn't hook your attention. You say, oh, that's not bad. That's nice. A summer breeze that's neither warm nor cool. You say, okay. Has anyone ever used the term mediocre breeze? I don't think so, but that's not a bad combination, in my opinion. I mean, I don't want to say it out loud too many times, because I don't want to get on the bad side of breeze. I don't want the breeze being breezes, the breeze central. I don't want to be on the bad side of breeze. So it's just a term I like saying. I'm not calling any breezes mediocre. But mediocre breeze, I don't think that could be, it could be a band. I don't know. Oh, woodwind band, mediocre breeze. There you go. Or, brass band. I would posit to say that there's probably a band out there called Mediocre Breeze. That'd be pretty fun. I mean, that'd be some confidence. Or you'd say, this is just where we are. Yeah, we charge, we're a middle school woodwind brass orchestra, and we call ourselves Mediocre Breeze. Or it could be humming. What are those horns, like from there used to be a lozenge ad with big horns. Anyway, enough about Mediocre Breeze. Maybe it could be another stage name for me. Meaty ochre, like to call, is that how you pronounce the color? Breeze. Mediocre Breeze. What's your name again? Mediocre Breeze. Do you always say it? Yeah, I do. You could call me, I don't know. You could call me Mediocre Breeze. That's what I go by. You could call me, Mediocre Breeze. I prefer to just go, Mediocre Breeze works. Okay, what was my point? I say the equivalent I am the equivalent of Mediocre Breeze. A little hot air, a little bit of hot air, a little bit of warm air. But it's something they say, like, it is a metaphor for the show. Again, to all breezes everywhere. I was only making a metaphor about me. Not self-deprecating, but with self-awareness that this show is like a mediocre breeze. And that's a positive. So it's like a TV, something you're barely paying attention to, I guess was my point. By the way, all breezes should be paid attention to, appreciated fully. And, only when used in metaphor, like that's only referring to me, can you use the term mediocre breeze. Just want to get clarification, because I don't need, no offense to breezes, but I don't need you blowing I don't wear a lot of hats, but you know, in a critical situation where I may have a hat, blowing it off. Like if I was, you know, getting an award for hat of the year or some other situation. I don't know. I don't wear ties either, like blowing a tie in my face. So please don't. I just want to make sure that that's clear. I'm on the bad side of enough, you know, phenomenon and, you know, non-phenomenons. I mean, I can't even get a particle collider, particle accelerator, or super, you know, I can't get it. Those like they've totally cut me off from. So I love breezes, by the way. I mean, that's why I'm being so, is this I'm trying to equivocate or whatever, but yeah, I love breezes. So I love you so much. I had to use you as a metaphor. So moving on. I don't want to move on though. And that's what makes me qualified to make a sleep podcast. But this is the only sleep podcast, I think, it's been around for a while, that I'm not here to put you to sleep. There is no pressure to fall asleep with this show. There's a reason the show is over an hour. There's a reason we put out so many different varieties of episodes, put out so much content. So there's no pressure to fall asleep. You don't have to worry about when the episode ends. I'm going to be here over an hour. There's over 600 plus shows available for anybody so that you know it's going to be here. There's no pressure to fall asleep because there's people listening who can't sleep at all. There's people who need a break during the day or need something to listen to while they're working, or they just need some company during the deep, dark day. So I'm here for them and for you to the very end. Whether you're listening to me or not, whether you're awake or asleep, whether you're falling asleep, sound asleep, chilling out, whatever it is, I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off stuff, to be your bore friend, your bore bae, your bore sib, your bore bruh, your bore friend, Boris Borloff, chairman of the boards, your borebee, your boreman, your neighbor, your bores, your best bore friend forever, just to keep you company and hang out with you while you fall asleep. Maybe take your mind off stuff, or maybe don't listen to me at all. Maybe I'm mumbling under your pillow, or maybe you're like, yeah, I want to listen to you more. That was really a foible moment you had with the breeze there. I don't need, and carrying packages. Like, what if there's ever a moment where I'm in that iconic moment of carrying a stack of like wrapped gifts across the street in Manhattan, and I'm trying to avoid puddles. And I don't, like, no offense to Breeze, I'd appreciate if you don't blow those out, you know, especially if I'm trying to exist in the iconic. I mean, there's not a lot of iconic moments I'm a part of, except in these kind of thought experiments where I imagine myself. But so I guess, you know, we don't have to worry. Let's be realistic, right? Breeze is laughing at me now. Yeah, let's just agree to that you'll surprise me. Okay, thank you, Breeze. Thanks for letting me. You're so gracious. That was some spokesperson for Breezes on behalf of Breezes everywhere. And I'll be surprised. They said it with a wink, so that's got to be good. So, yeah, I'm here to be your bore friend, keep you company, take your mind off stuff, and just be here and hang with you. The only other thing I like to run through really quick is the structure of the show. It can really throw new listeners off. So I just like to run through it so you know, so I can meet you where you are. So the show starts off with a greeting, friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So you feel seen and welcomed into the show. And you say, okay, I might check that out. Then there's support. So again, paying for the show is optional. Like, especially if you're new or you only listen occasionally, or you can't support the show, or you actively choose not to. It's optional for all those groups. And then when the people that benefit the most from it support it, it gets to be here for everybody. So that's what the support's about. Then after the support is a long meandering intro meant to ease you into bedtime. not to put you to sleep, but to be part of your wind down routine, getting ready for bed, in bed, getting comfortable, where we all hang out like a sleepover. And we watch, it's like we're watching something, but we're not really paying attention to it. Like the last thing, I don't know. Or you say, hey, Scoots, could you just talk for, this has actually happened multiple times in my life before the podcast. So I guess I was born to do this. So it's like, yeah, just talk to us about nothing. Okay. And so just to have a buffer between being awake and asleep as a part of a wind down or a bedtime routine. Because, I don't know, that's just what works for me personally and what I've seen work in the past is having that break and that being eased off into dreamland. Now, what else? The other reason the intro goes on and on and on is to introduce what the podcast is inefficiently, but every intro is new, so it's familiar but has variety. Then after the intro will be again another request for regular listeners whose lives are changed by a podcast to support the show or support our sponsors. And then we'll have our episode, which will be Windy Marstrap, or be a character, it's like talking about, first guest here to talk about for May the 4th, around May the 4th. So yeah, May the 4th be with you. I'm really glad you're here. Really yearn and strive to help you fall asleep, bring you sleepy joy and delight. So do a bunch of other people that work on this show. And again, I know I say this just because I do need your support if the podcast changes your life on a regular basis in a good way, and you are in a position to support one of these sponsors of the show, you'll change the ability for thousands of other people to get a good night's sleep. And the show will continue to be here for you as well. Thanks. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, ZocDoc. Finding a doctor that you really like is kind of like finding a diamond in the rough. Searching, because you got to find somebody that's in your network. They're nearby. They take new patients. They have open time slots. But that's just the beginning, because then you want somebody that's going to listen to you, explain things to you in very clear language, follow up, and make you feel safe and cared for, right? So we all have our perfect doctor checklist because we deserve it. And that's why you got to check out ZocDoc. ZocDoc makes the whole thing easy. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can find someone you love. And we're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 150,000 providers across all 50 states. Whether you're looking for dermatology, dentistry, primary care, eye care, or any one of the other 200-plus specialties offered on ZocDoc, you can easily search by specialty or symptom to build the care team that's right for you. You want to see your doctor in person? Great. And if you prefer a video visit, you could do that too. And then there's those thousands of verified patient reviews that give you a real sense of who your doctor is. Whatever it is, you can feel confident that you can book with a doctor you know you'll love. And as I've said, since I've made my move, I've been checking ZocDoc, and I'm still using it as part of my search for my care providers. So you got to check it out too. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/sleep to find and instantly book a doctor you love today. That's ZocDoc.com/sleep. ZocDoc.com/sleep. Thank you, ZocDoc, for sponsoring this message. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to May the 4th be with you episode of Sleep With Me. Though you may not be hearing, may the 4th be with you wherever you are and whatever day it is. I've been lucky enough to communicate with your pod person, Scooter. And occasionally he lets me on the show to do an episode. My name's Windy Marstrap. Windy. like the wind, not Wendy Marstrap. Though if you call me Wendy Marstrap, it'll still sound Wendy Marstrap. I'll still answer. And you could shout it when you get to my new business I'm dreaming of. I'm dreaming of a new business that we're going to talk about tonight, maybe. But I guess I should talk a little bit about myself and my best friend, Dewey the Dewback. Dewey's here with me. And it's been a while since I've been on the show. I don't know what happened. Scooter kind of forgot about us, huh, Dewey? All right. Yeah, Dewey's a Dewback, my best friend. Some people thought Luke was my best friend or Deke was my best friend. Big's definitely not my best friend. But currently, and I guess always, Dewey the Dewback, not famous. Dewey, you're not famous. Well, now you are. You're sleep podcast, occasional guest on a sleep podcast famous. How's that feel? Hey. Yeah, thanks, Dewey. So, yeah, Dewey, don't worry, you don't pet a Dewback, but you can pat them and rub them. So, yeah, I'm here with Dewey, and it's been a while since we've been on the show. And you may be confused. Wendy Marstrap, never heard of you. Are you of the Marstraps that make some sort of syrup or something? No, I'm from the Star Wars universe. And I have been, and then at some point I met Scooter. He delved into the world. He said, Wendy, I love you. I love Dewey. I love you. I want you on the show. And he explained it all to me, and then I didn't understand. And then Scooter forgot. Then he came back, and so I've been on the show a few times. I don't know if I've really been on. It's been a while since I've been on for May the 4th, and Scooter always says it's for the May the 5th episode. And I said, okay, May the 5th. What does any of that mean? I live on, I'm from a planet with two suns. And he said, congratulations, 2 suns. And then he also sends me, I said, no, it's Wendy Marstrap, Scooter. Remember? He said, no, my E's and my I's look the same. Okay, so a little backstory about me. I've been on the show before, but it's not often. I'm from the what you know as the world of Star Wars. We just call it our universe. A long time ago, galaxy far, far away. But Scooter has Scooter does not necessarily practice interdimensional hygiene. They always talk about sleep hygiene, and Scooter doesn't really talk about that on the show because he said, well, that puts a little too much should into sleep stuff. It should be more suggestions. And maybe that's why he thinks, these entire everybody that has anybody that's ever been a scientist in the history of multiple, universes and timelines would say, Scooter, it's best if you just stay in your own timeline. He did not believe that, and so he invented a fan fiction fantasy machine. And I don't even have a lot of I didn't really know about it till I started listening. I said, how many episodes? So I've been on 2 or 3 or 4 episodes. What do you have, like 10 episodes? And I said, Scooter, are you there? And then I said, how many episodes do you have? Wow. But, I'm also very busy. So that's the other thing of why I haven't been on the show. But I think his fan fiction fantasy machine runs on ticker tape and the ruin of Bruce Bolton. And I don't even know how that's still possible, but apparently it is. And, Scooter, there's other people that are apparently on the show more often than me. And they even get new names, which I'd prefer to stick to Wendy Marstrap. Even the other names I've been given. I'm Wendy Marstrap, regular person. I don't need to be a big shot like Biggs has always wanted to be. And, I'm not Luke, it's just a fact of the matter. I accept that. It'd be nice if I was on as much as the Blue Man, Gregor, Sir Gregor, or Tommen. Sir Pounce and I are kind of Sir Pounce has been on more than me, but I said, Dewey, do you ever feel like you and Sir Pounce should have a show? No. Okay, that makes sense. Though I just set Scooter up, I'm sure he'll get emails about that now. What was my point? Oh, that Tommen got a new name. He comes on, this guy Ray, he's on the show all the time. I guess he's from the real world, not the show, the real. I got all of Scooter's logins. So I watched the real world. True story. But what was I going to say? Well, I'm glad. I guess this is my long-winded way of saying Wendy Marstrap's glad to be here with you. Scooter brought me over to record. Well, he brought his stuff over. Because he's always, I guess his policy is if he can't find a date in his world, and again, I think it was Albert Einstein appeared with Carl Jung, and they said, no, Scooter, no interdimensional dating, please. This is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away from you for a reason. Okay, but it's so good to be here to talk to you about something that just doesn't, it does get some talk in the Star Wars world, but just not enough in my opinion and other people's opinions too. Because normally I like to run a little travel guide. And Scooter said, could you do some research for a new travel guide? I'd like to do for the May the 4th be with you. And I said, sure. And then when I started doing the research, I realized, and when I was watching different shows, there's a movie called Diner. Then there's Miles in Transit. He's a YouTuber about transit. Scooter saw Miles in he's a real person. He's a human in your world. And Scooter saw Miles in person, and he was so, I guess you'd say flabbergasted. Maybe that's not the right word. He was speechless. He just happened to walk out of a hotel in the path of Miles, and then Miles walked by him, and Scooter's brain said, I think, and then he told his brother who he was with, that's Miles from Miles in Transits. And that was it. A cross with fame. But, Miles and Miles's friends, who I've grown to really love, they eat at diners. And so I guess I had diner on the mind. And so I got distracted. And I said, Wendy, maybe you should open up a diner out there. If Scooter can have a podcast that puts people to sleep, and maybe you could have a diner. Okay, so let me run through the research that brought me to the diner, because because Scooter said, couldn't you just, so first we looked up he said, find me some places nobody talks about. So we'll return to Abathar. Also, I'm not good with facts or names. I'm from Tatooine. But we'll return there. Then we looked up Dexun or something, which is a moon orbiting a planet, Onderon or something. And that has to do with Mandalorian. I don't know if it was in any of the shows because they said, also when Einstein and Jung were there, they said, Wendy, let's talk to you without Scooter listening. And they said, whatever you do, don't watch any shows don't watch any Star Wars material they said, stay away from sci-fi in general. And I said, sure. I don't know what that is. So I said, and they said, well, we've traveled, we live in interdimensionally because, and I said, don't worry about it. I said, what's your favorite season of Real World? And they said, that's what Scooter has you watching? And they crossed their arms. So I don't know what you may know if you're so that was just one of the planets. So it has to do with the Mandalorians. It has a lot of like rainforesty type thing from your world. And there's also some sort of, non-positive energy there. But the one fun fact, though, is that the moon and the planet's atmospheres connect every once in a while or overlap. And so if you live in the atmosphere like a bird or some sort of flying being, you could fly from one planet. There's a brief period. Then there was a Kiva, and that is another humid planet. A lot of rain from back in the days of the clones. I don't know if it was in, like Scooter said, like in the movie, there's a lot of rain in that. And I said, could I show you what Carl, I think they were thinking of you. And he said, no, I don't need to know what they think of me. But I said, no, this has to do with droid, Scooter. This is sort of like a lot of droid production was going on. There's a city called Mira that was built into a sinkhole. So these are places they could have diners. I guess I'm sure Mira does have a diner. I don't know how many I don't think it's currently in use. And Dex Zun, maybe it's called Zun. The silent D and the X sounds like a Z. It could have, maybe it could have a floating diner. Like, I do read too. So I read the books, Restaurant at the End of the Universe. Maybe this could be a thing too, like restaurant in the touch when the atmospheres touch one another. Maybe that could be one of my diners. Wendy's, we call it. No. Wendy's. So then this would be Wendy's Zun or Onderon Zun. I don't know how often the atmospheres touch one another, but I guess when it does, it could be floating because that planet sounds like it's kind of tough anyway. And if it has like a lot of humidity, it might be nice to come up to a floating diner. Wendy's Diner in the Sky. How does that sound? And then whenever that does, we'll just charge a lot more. You'll need a reservation, so you'll know we're charging special menu. And, then we'll serve maybe foods, atmosphere. I don't know. Say double the atmosphere here on Wendy's. This diner, if it's a chain in the sky. So that would be fun. So maybe I'll think of diners. Man, this is quite a brainstorm here, Scooter. You're really getting your money's worth. Dewey, I think for your skin, Dewey, touching multiple atmospheres might be nice if it's breathable, right? And you have, you're staying moisturized, not too much sun. But maybe there's some sort of deck out there, Dewey. Dewey, what would you feel like if you, I rode you through the restaurant? No, right? Okay. And if Mira's like oh no, that's another planet. So Mira and the Kiva's next. Now, I guess this one, we could have it in the sinkhole. Like a vertical, like maybe that, I mean, maybe I'm overdoing the floating diners, but it could be like an elevator diner where it's going up and down the sinkhole. And maybe time-wise, you say, okay, what time does level 41 get off work or they have lunch? Why don't you have level 82 have lunch at a different time? Then they can come eat. at Wendy's, the diner that's always there at lunchtime. And I guess we could, that one, maybe we could build it out of deactivated droid parts. I don't know. I mean, that might be nice. And that could be fun. We could send adventurers. We could say free beverage with a droid part, or a free dessert. Bring in a droid part over certain, like grams, 1 gram droid parts, free beverage, free non-fermented, free beverage from this list of beverages. Free, well, I don't know if we should get into blue milk. Holy moly. Scooter really stirred up the whole blue milk thing in the fictional. That's another thing. They even called in Freud for that. They said, Freud, get over here. This is Wendy Marstrap. He said, Wendy Marstrap, have you familiar with, and I said, no, Wendy Marstrap, not Wendy Marstrap, Wendy Marstrap. But basically, after that, we did great together. But they were talking about this whole blue milk thing Scooter stirred up. Maybe I'll talk about it for the diner, because I can make a positive, Wendy's positive spin on diners. Maybe a spinning diner. Maybe that could be the thing for Mira and Akiva. Okay, now Manan was another one Scooter said to look into. Now, this is ocean planet with floating cities. Now, this one, I'm picturing this one. I don't know if there's any spas there, right? But apparently this planet, before Bacta, so BB, before Bacta era, like BBE, which that's not an era anybody keeps track of, but they should. There's another fluid that's good for you. You say, you got to put some cold toe on it. Not cold toe, Freud. Cold toe. And again, I have no idea any of this stuff, but that's pre-Bacta. I said, clear it right up. Apparently not as fast as Bacta, which you take a bath in. Holy, you wouldn't believe, on Tatooine, you don't even, you say, what do I bother with a bath for? If I'm covered in dirt, I'm going to be covered in dirt later too. But I'm picturing, maybe we could have, I'd have to look into this, but a spa menu at this one, floating city. I mean, maybe we'd just call it like Scooter. I said, Scooter was telling me about lay bag, which was just a bag, but then they put lay in front of it. L-E, not L-A-Y. This was back when he was a youth, so a long time ago, galaxy far, far away. So we call it lay diner. But I don't know, it's a spa menu really at a diner. I'd have to learn more about this. I do have a little bit more. Okay, then we have Zeltros, which is like, and maybe we even talked about this planet, or we've talked about the huts before, how much great they are. How great those huts. I'm contractually obligated to, I may or may not be contractually obligated by the huts to say that. How great art thou huts. But this is a planet with a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment. And I guess like the Zeltrons are, they're very empathetic and very pheromonic. I don't know if that's a term in your world, but they may emit pheromones that help put people at ease and put them in a good mood. I don't know. Was this something I've seen before? I think Scooter was the one telling me about this. Has Jack Black? Oh boy, I wish he was on The Real World before he was Jack Black. He could have been an interesting character. I mean, I don't know what he's really like, right? But Scooter did tell me, I said, maybe that's where Jack Black was. I said, okay, what, like School of Rock Jack Black? So, okay, what's my point? Is, okay, so that's this plan. It's very, now, now when Scooter and I were discussing this, he said, oh, okay, like, he told me about Las Vegas and how many diners were there and how much. Now, this is interesting behind the scenes with Scooter. Now, Scooter will go to a diner occasionally for breakfast nowadays or lunch or dinner. But he used to love to go to a diner late at night. He was a big diner goer. When he was in his cups, he said, oh, boy, like 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, especially in these cities like that were 24-hour-a-day cities, New York, Las Vegas, Reno. He said there's Reno. I like saying that. Like it's like saying no twice. Instead of repeating no, I just say Reno. I'm not saying it again, Scooter. And he said, I never thought about that. But so he would eat at diners late at night. But he said Las Vegas was, he said, well, it's kind of like similar to diners. Most places have a coffee shop, which is almost the same, similar, and not for fancy coffee, but like a diner that's open 24 hours a day. So this would be a good place for a diner. Scooter said lots of neon. And he was like, that's a natural fit. But the one place I think, so we covered all those diners, but there was already a diner in existence in our first place. And that was Abafar. And that's in the Outer Rim, which you say, okay, perfect for me. Where I'm most comfortable is in the Outer Rim. You know where you should put me, Wendy Marstrap? In the outer, Biggs would call it like, he always thought he was Mr. Inner Rim or whatever. I don't know what they call it. And he'd say, outer rim, sometimes under his breath and like, but loud enough so I could hear it. But, yeah, so not a big fan of Biggs. I think was there another Biggs? Scooter was confused. But he said, don't say anything bad about Biggs, because in case people think it's a Biggs from the other show. And I said, wait a second, Biggs has a show. And he said, no, he's maybe mentioned about the Castle Run or something else. And I said, what's a castle? But I said, Scooter, can I just do my own show? And he said, sure, occasionally. And then I said, look at Dewey, how sad Dewey looks at that way you're talking. And he said, Wendy, you have full creative control before we edit the episode. And I said, okay. So Abafar, this came up in it's way out there, doesn't have, it's mostly for mining, and it's famous for a famous clone person worked there on a diner. That's where I said, wait a second, there's a diner, and it's called, now this is fun. This is kind of funny. I guess this is all on the show. I don't know. But this, oddly enough, Captain Gregor, but not the Gregor from Sleep With Me. The Gregor. He's called the Gregor now. He once was Sir Gregor. Then he became the Blue Man, but not from the Blue Man group. Also seen, I like that Arrested Development. It's funny. It's a funny show. That's what I imagine that Tobias and Scooter, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart. You say, okay, is that Scooter or Tobias Funke or whatever? That's just Blue Man made me think of that. Okay, but so Captain Gregor used to be a dishwasher at a diner called, now this is going to be slightly confusing, but don't worry, we'll work with it for all of you. It's called Power Sliders, but the P in the sign never works, so it's Our Sliders, OWER. So I could be like, hey, welcome to Our Sliders. Now, what is, so this is the idea. Just add it, just right in this moment. Scooter said I could do this. Now, what if, true story, a man named Wendy Marstrap inherits a diner and runs a diner, and then some number of strangers come together to work at the diner for Wendy. And then at night, they got to live, and that maybe Wendy lives with them too, and Dewey the Dewback. But they work at the diner, making sure it's the greatest diner that's ever existed. And it's called maybe it's called Our Sliders. Though I might change it to Wendy's. I like Wendy's Diner, and they say Wendy's Diner? No, Wendy's Diner. Wendy's Diner. Wendy's Diner. Wendy's. Yeah, the diner. It used to be, they say, like, and this is okay with me, believe it or not. But, traditionally when a restaurant, especially diner, changes names, people still use the old name. And that could be like a thing. It wouldn't really bother me because, would it bother me? I don't know. I guess I'd have to see. But if it was named Power Sliders, maybe we even kept that sign. And, but it's really called Wendy's Diner now. Wendy's Diner. But people say, oh, I'll meet you at Power Sliders. Our Sliders? Oh, yeah, it's still there? Yeah. This former vagabond, you remember the guy remember Biggs? Never heard of him. Okay, well, this guy's great. Wendy's his name. There's a Dewback in the restaurant occasionally. Totally hygienic. Don't worry about it. Wait a second. There's a Dewback just walking around a diner. No, forget I said that was an idea. There's many pictures of a beautiful Dewback named Dewey. And depending on the weather, we'll figure, I don't know. I couldn't go to work without Dewey. So I don't know about that. But so I guess we would have, so that would be my diner out there. I would be taking over an existing diner, already has a name. Now I would redo the menu, obviously. And then it'd be interesting if there was, what do you call it? People from the real world on there. Real world, Wendy's Real World. I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess I just really like that show, but maybe I wouldn't like it if it was in my own diner. Also, Scooter said, he just handed me a note. No, most people don't know what that is. So, okay, so obviously we'd need like 2 new menu items. Now, one of the things during my research was like, you and your world, sliders are a particular thing. And I think we could, but the Power sliders at Power Sliders were different, right? Because this planet's a little bit different. But I guess if we're replicating, so I was thinking we could have Power Sliders, Our Sliders, and then also Scooter said, it makes me think of the castle. So we could have Castle Whites, which is like a slider from Scooter's. I think when he does episodes for you, sometimes he walks there. But so the Power Slider, I think we were thinking about Well, so because Sir Gregor was something that's going to give you power, right? Something that is, so we'd have like something that's like nutrient delicious, right? So I guess if you went there from your world, I mean, it could be a new thing. People are like, oh, these sliders are delicious. And they have 3 different ones. The Castle White slider, which would be, those would be the thinner ones with just the bun and steamed an onion. Scooter said those are ketchup and mustard, but you could do that optional. Cheese optional. But then the power slider would be a little bit bigger, or maybe we do 4. But I really want that to be our signature menu item that delivers like, that actually delivers on the promise. So some sort of protein that's delicious and, gives you that. Maybe the bun, delicious first. I don't know, find a local bakery there, or we'll work on that, right? And maybe a couple other things. And then we could have the power slider platter to make sure, particularly there, if people are working, like whether they come in, I guess we could have a breakfast version, right? Like that one would have some sort of eggs and a sausage or some sort of breakfast protein and cheese again. Power slider breakfast, power slider lunch and dinner. Okay. And then, so I think we got that one figured out. That would be the best, like that would be the one that most people come in and order. So we'd really have to work at getting that good. Then for the Scooter required me to have the Castle one. But people might like that. And that maybe that could be on our late night menu if we're going to be open 24 hours a day. Like only after 7 p.m. can you get the Castle White sliders. So that would be the power slider, right? Something. I don't know. And I guess, yeah, we have breakfast and a dinner version. But that would be the one, like, we'd really have to get it right. So we'd really have to figure that out. Then the hour slider, which is just power without the P. Now, what would we do with that? I think that should also be an appealing one. Maybe it's Scooter's talking to me about secret menus. So we'd have like maybe that could be on the secret menu. If you order the hour slider, what would that be? Because hour, it also considers, sounds like time. It sounds like together we make this. So maybe we take some other thing. So it's like a double protein, hour sliders. So we really have, maybe we need maybe we need something from our hometown or something. Or maybe it could just be a double order, but when you make a double order, like you get 2 extra. So let's imagine that you get 4 with a regular order, right? And then you get 4 with another regular order. So you'd get 8 if you just said, give me 2 orders of power sliders. Instead you get 10 for the price of 8. I think that might be not a bad, like, so it's like if people are together, they say, oh, these are our sliders. And we get 5 each. And yeah, I think that's maybe that's a decent idea, but we don't have it on the menu. It's only if you order it. Oh yeah, Scooter and I will have the hour sliders. So the hour sliders. Okay, you got it. 1 order. Now then I think we should have the originals. We'll just call them, we won't call them sliders. Because sliders in this world were not what you as people from Earth or whatever would have. So we would have that as an original menu item. And again, just in case, these people say, well, you don't mean, sell like, no, we do. We just call them original power, original hour, So don't, oh boy, by the way, it's a secret menu item. You could get extra ones. Now, Scooter did tell me, like, well, listen, Wendy, what if this diner's out there far and that, he goes, you may have to get more creative with what you're doing, because what if, you just can't get these fresh ingredients shipped, and I said, well, we have a way to do that, Scooter, because the other big menu item we have, thanks to you, is the drink items, because I guess they never listened to Scooter when he said to the, some reason, I guess, apparently on Earth, there's like some sort of fancy beverage that tasted real good that's based on something. And then somebody was like, well, we'll make a blue milk, and this will be an incredibly, but like for entertainment, they would make blue milk, or for entertainment consumption. What do I mean by entertainment? When you go to watch the movies, I was watching one of the Real Worlds, I think, or maybe it's another show, and they would go to watch these movies, which we kind of have something similar, right? I can't talk about it, but project, communal enjoyment. But you would eat this thing called popcorn, right? It was something you were eating, but it was also a part of entertainment. But I guess that's not a good example. But anyway, we have blue milk, and apparently someone in your world said, okay, well, this will be good for, pretending you're in Star Wars. Oh, if you pretended you were in Star Wars, what would you want? Well, I want to drive the Kessel Run, like to do this, that, and I'd like to drink some blue milk. Now, unfortunately, what happened was it didn't end up tasting, and according to Scooter, this is not fair. And Scooter says, there's a lot of things that aren't fair. And it's a tough thing, but if you're going to make something, it has to taste and he said, this is the way I should look at it for the diner, that it should taste unbelievably delicious. And Scooter said, it's just not, that's just the way it is. Like, it can't, like, the uniqueness, if there's any repeatability. But I guess they were like, well, we'll just charge for it. It doesn't have to be repeated. It'll just be a one-off. And then I guess they made a green milk. But Scooter said, listen, let me do you a favor. Let me help you out with this, because it has to be unbelievably delicious. Almost like a milkshake, but like something that's just so delicious, once you drink, you got to tell somebody about it. And they stopped taking his calls, obviously, millennia ago. But he said, okay, so you should have new blue milk. So you have your blue milk, right? Man, it might be working for you, but, it should be working. Well, he goes, I think you understand. I think I'm explaining it, right? So you have your blue milk, and it's like, okay, it's drinkable. And again, everybody's got a different taste palette or whatever. But there are things that a general large 7, 8, 9 out of 10 people say, holy moly, versus just a few people say, well, it's, okay, or 1 or 2 people say, holy moly. I mean, that's the reaction we're looking at. Most things at Wendy, our Wendy's will be standard, acceptable menu items for our clientele. It will, based on geographic location. Okay, but the blue milk thing, that's going to be, we're going to place ourselves in the center of this blue milk controversy, because Scooter created a whole imaginary thing. And I mean, if you're going to be, I guess, like Freud and them said, don't mess, but if you are going to be messing with things interdimensionally, you might as well swing big, Scooter. Which Scooter did, but, he's also putting people to sleep. So I guess that's why he can swing big. But so his idea, which I do like, is that there's new blue milk and then there's blue milk. But I guess when in Scooter's world, when they tried to do this with something called cola, like they had cola and then they said, well, this cola is pretty good, but we think we can make something that tastes better. So we're going to come out with it and we're going to call it cola. I think they're like, don't worry, we've got a new version of this cola coming out. And then they didn't realize that it was kind of a staple of people's flavor profile. So they were like changing something without being additive, and it didn't work out. So now Scooter's like, I wish I was in a time machine so I could have both. And because I guess apparently both tasted good. In this case of blue milk, again, we're not pointing fingers. We're just saying generally it's perceived as, both these colas apparently were good. It was just that they were different from one another. But again, we're not in that situation with this particular example of blue milk. Now, in my world, blue milk is supposed to taste a certain way. So this is going to be the other interesting thing. Because you're going to have new blue milk and then you're going to have new blue milk. Now, we could play with the spelling of these things. Like we could call it Wendy's new blue milk. And then, so Scooter's thing was that, why don't you just admit that this blue milk didn't taste so great and make a story based on it and make it fun. So there's blue milk, which everybody, like that was in Luke's, Luke, Han, Leia, would become the New Republic, I think, that they said, that new blue milk is actually the galactic people, and we're going to sell our own blue milk, new blue milk, or I'm making it more confusing because I guess Scooter said, Wendy, you're good. You're just as good as me at that. But so you would have, so let's go back to the diner, right? Because I'm explaining what Scooter tried to explain, which won't make sense because, again, these will be regional diners. So we will have to think about this. But we will have a new blue milk that's based on what Scooter's promising. So I guess he's going to have to figure out the recipe. That tastes unbelievably delicious. Then we'll have new blue milk shake. Then we'll have original blue milk that people know about, right? And they'll be like, what's this new blue milk? Here's where we'll give out tiny samples. But first, we'll make them try the original new blue milk. It'll be a fun thing. I think this could be a fun thing, which will taste like the one Scooter's talking about. Because Scooter said, well, it'll be a competition between, the Empire and the Rebellion of like, hey, who sells more blue milk? Like almost like they're side by, like a street theater, he said. Or that there's a speakeasy where you could get the real blue milk from. Anyway, the words we'll figure out, but we will serve. So you could get first when you sit down at Wendy's, they'll say, hey, welcome to Wendy's. By the way, Wendy wants you to have a couple samples we got coming your way. And they'll say samples. They say, well, Wendy visited, we could have a whole backstory. I don't know how long it'll take. And they'll have the first blue milk, which will taste like, it'd just be a sip. Can we get any beverages? We'll bring you. And okay, what'd you think of that? Some people might say, oh, I loved it. Oh, okay, by the way, you could buy a whole glass of it. It really is confusing with the blue milk you're used to. But Wendy travels he has friends beyond, beyond our world. And so from afar, well, why don't you call it something other than blue milk? It's really confusing. Well, I don't know if they call like actually. I'm so confused with. I don't know if they call it blue milk in our world. It just is blue milk. I mean, I guess it make it even more confusing. But we could change the color a little bit. But basically, then they would taste the delicious one and be like, "Oh wow, I gotta have this one." And it's, oh, okay, or you could have it for dessert later. We recommend the blue milk milkshake or the blue milk, this version of it. Or blueberry, because Scooter told me about this blueberry pie. And we have something similar, bloomberries pie, a la blue milk mode. So it'd be like a blue milk ice cream or cream on a blueberry pie. I guess we'd have to taste the blue milk to double check that it would go with it. Because I don't think you want the blue milk tasting like blueberry. Maybe. I don't know what your world's favorite. We'd figure out the favorite flavor profiles in our world. Now then with the rest of the menu, we would I would like to, do it like, I forgot about the most important thing. So the dishwasher's platter, that would be another secret menu item that you could order. I don't know if it's popular, we could put it on the menu, but I think it would be like at this point, thinking about our, Scooter pitched me based on what he would buy at the castle, like a slider place he goes to. And I said, okay, Scooter. I mean, it does sound like someone that has to go out in the world would eat. So you'd have 4 sliders, power sliders, I guess. Then Scooter said these things, chicken with cheese. He said maybe 2 of those, which are a different kind of protein, crispy protein with cheese on them. Then chicken rings, he said. But he said, by the way, I think they changed the recipe. And I said, okay, take it easy, Scooter, okay? I said, chicken with chicken rings. Now, I think we would do that differently. Maybe make it some sort of vegetable or tuber ring. But I can see adding then also fries come with that, which is a tuber. So maybe not a tuber ring, but something similar. And then blue milkshake, obviously. And they say, if you're really going out there in the world, you got to get the dishwasher's platter. And then we'd figure out some way to make it funny. I don't know what that would be, though, because at first I thought like a soapy glass or something, but then Scooter said, no. And I said, okay. I mean, we could put it in a fake sink, like delivered in instead of it's like a bowl, but it's a sink. It's a square bowl with a flat bottom. That's a dishwasher's. Oh, what's that person got? Oh, it's a secret item. Are you with the galactic? Oh, yeah, I am. Oh, good, because it's called the dishwasher's platter. Are you with? No, I'm with the rebel. Oh, yeah. It's the dishwasher's platter. Go ahead and order it. So that would be the next. And then I want to name menu items. It would be the bigs. Be like, okay, you got to leave. I'm sorry. You're not. We don't serve the bigs here. I'm kidding. I'm bigger than that, right? So we could name stuff after my friends. No Dewback. We don't serve Dewback. No, we don't. We serve Dewbacks in the back room. We have a back room for Dewback. If you want us to feed your Dewback, but we don't serve Dewback. We serve 2 Dewbacks. I mean, I serve Dewey. I love Dewey. Dewey's my companion. You really haven't loved until you've loved a Dewback as a friend, or as a human. I'm like a human, I guess. Dewey is like a Dewback, which is different than your world. Because Scooter's like, how How can you have a close, intimate connection to a cold-based being? And I said, did you just call Dewey a cold-based being? And he said, circulatorily. And I said, Scooter, you don't even have the beginnings of, and then I said, go ahead and pat Dewey and rub Dewey. And then, Dewey took a liking to Scooter in the way most people do. Takes 2 or 3 times. Yeah. So anyway, that's my idea for Wendy's Diner. Wendy's Diner. By the way, Wendy's Diner. And, maybe those could be the ones we start out with. Home of the blue milk controversy, we could say. That's giant mega corpse passed over on. See, Scooter, you just gave this idea away. And he said, well, I don't know if anybody knew about it either, but I said, I love saying new blue milk. And I think that's a very, hey, Stella, give me 3 new blue milks, NBMs, and three orders, So I think, again, we could have an extensive diner menu. I think I was talking about Scooter's diner habits. He does order the same thing at every diner for lunch or dinner, unless there's extenuating circumstances, which for him is a patty melt. And he said that's usually pretty standard. They know they consistently make it. He's a big fan of rye bread and caramelized onions. And he said, yeah, there's some regional differences. Like some people like to put 1,000 Islands dressing on it. He's not, says no to that. And he said there's some changes in, the cheeses or the style of rye. And he goes, some places may try to do a sourdough or something. He goes, or just American cheese, which he kind of frowned at. So I think his perfect one is Swiss cheese, real rye, and protein patties. So we'll have that on the menu too. We could call it the Scooter, and then maybe I can name stuff off not just from my world, but I forget what Miles likes to eat. He does get a few different things. Normally, some people order breakfast. Anyway, I guess I'm supposed to wrap up here. I'm glad to be back. And we could say that at least when someone from your world comes in, we could say, may the 4th be with you, no matter what day it is. We could say, ha, ha, ha. Welcome to our sliders. Dishwashers out. Maybe like hints like that about the secret menu. Welcome to our sliders. May the 4th be with you. And they say, I thought this place was called Wendy's. Wendy's. It's Wendy's Diner. The only diner that I know of that serves new blue milk. I grew up drinking it. I never called it blue milk, though. We called it, Yak's Delight. Yeah. Do you have it? Is it, no, this is different. It's new. Don't worry. We have samples coming. So I'm Wendy Marstrap with your, occasionally, but maybe regularly from, annually. It'd be nice, Scooter. May the 4th be with you. Good night, everybody. All right, buddy, this is Scoots with a tuck you in message about, I've been asking people when they sign up to support the show, why? Like, what is the biggest reason someone supports the show? So I don't know if you want to do this. You can put yourself in their shoes. I'm going to walk you through what some people have said, the kind of recurring themes. And maybe if you put yourself in their shoes, maybe you're the one tonight that'll support the show. So here's how it goes normally. This is the most popular kind of response. First they say, yeah, no, Scooter was talking to me. I am the one who can support the show and who wants to. I've just been putting it off or thinking someone else is going to do it or tuning it out. But yeah, I'm the one. And I remember what my life was like, what my bedtime was like before I found Sleep With Me. I remember that, and I didn't like it, and I don't want to go back to that. And I know, just like Scooter says, the show can't exist unless people like me support it. If I don't support it, or someone doesn't support it for me, the show won't be here, and I don't want that either. And then what they always do, and they tell me about this, the people that actually have been signed up lately, they go right now. So if this is you, go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus right now and sign up, and then worry about the bonus content tomorrow. Because if you put it off, you will put it off for years. But as soon as you sign up, you could have that relief. You see, I'm a part of this now. I'm a part of what's keeping this show going. I'm a part of this bedtime relief for me. Now I don't got to worry about whether the show's going to be around or not. And for other people, too. And that feels pretty nice. A lot better than what it used to be like. So thanks. Thanks for supporting the show. And when you sign up, you get a video from me saying just that. The second one kind of goes very similarly. And it does take hearing me ask 30, 40, 50 times that suddenly something clicks and it's like, man, this show, Scooters really needs some support here. I didn't realize it just clicks at some point. This podcast needs people to support it to exist. And I am so happy this is in the world. It changed my relationship with sleep like nothing else had. There's not something that could replace this. And if Scooter stopped narrating the show or making the show, I would really miss him. Even if it was somebody else or a different company making the podcast, I would miss this version of Sleep With Me if it was gone a lot. Because I like it. I love it. And it makes my life better. I really enjoy it. And I don't want to go without it. And I do know now it needs my support right now. And then right now, maybe you're the one. They go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. They sign up. They set up the bonus content a day or two from now when I send out the follow-up welcome video and stuff like that. But then they're like, wow, I get a video from Scoots when I sign up. Man, maybe now I feel closer to this show. I feel really good. Because I've done my part. I don't got to worry about it anymore. I was putting it off. I put it off for 3-4 years. That's a common refrain lately. And I'm glad it clicked, and I'm glad to be a part of this thing. So if that's you, I hope it is. You can support the show. You're in a position to, and you will right now, because you'll miss it if it's gone. Don't wait. sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. And the next one kind of looks something like, okay, put yourself in this person's shoes. Maybe this is you. Maybe you only use the show when you need it, or maybe you use the show pretty often, but you're like, finally, I found something that makes my relationship with bedtime better. I tried all this other stuff. I paid for a lot of stuff, but Sleep With Me has made my nights better, and therefore my days are better. And I don't want to go back to what it was like before the show was a part of my life. So me paying $120, $240, $60 a year, like Scoots is serious. That's another thing they realize. My $60 a year will change the future of the podcast. My $60 a year is a really big deal to the show and to Scooter and to keeping it going. So I'm going to go right now and support the show at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. And they do that right now when it clicks. And then suddenly after they do it, they feel good. And then they feel even better when I send them a thank you video. Because then I say, hey, what made you sign up to support the show? Because it changed my life. Because it did this for me. It helped me in this way. Because I don't want to think about not having the podcast in my life, or the podcast has helped me through these major things in my life, and I want it to be around the next time something else comes up. If that's you, you can sign up at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. But don't put it off, because if you're like most people, you'll put it off for 2 or 3 years, and we could really use your support tonight. So think about it. Thanks.